Saturday Showdown. KT Rolster versus T1.
Skarner's going to have a hard time ever getting on top of a key target when the Lantern is there to play around with. Obviously, though, going to be a bit trickier for Zeus to have impact in teamfights when there is a Skarner, when there is a Azir and a Gragas bouncing you up and around. And it looks like Brion might just go towards that Rakan in this situation. Death sentence.
Could certainly be. Let's jump onto the Rift here for game one. But I think he has done that one in the past. So I don't think that that Owner is our biggest offender. I think it's Pina as the Poro guy.
Definitely suggesting that they know they're on the back end of this matchup. Jinx good enough Elias, but also just the Thresh from Carrier. So we got Cleanse for Henna and Heal for Effort. They really just want to be surviving here, which is kind of like the AoE that bounces out afterwards is so wide.
It's annoying.
It's very obnoxious.
As Morgan is going to get stunned up here. Ult comes through from Zeus. Morgan just trying to walk this one out. Does flash in the end. Zeus not going to follow. Flash advantage now for the Jax. Level 7. And in he goes. All right, Umpty, can we find it? There is the smite. Does go back to his distortion there as Umpty not going to be able to find it. Poby, nice little movement there to make sure that he's not in impale range. But it's still going to be a decent trade for Karis.
Yeah, I think they were waiting for Poby to use another ability to lock him out of his ult distortion. And then he never did, so they just went for it. And he started up this dragon. And I think T1, they'll probably go for a steal here with the Thresh Lantern. So let's see if they can get it.
Yeah, and in they go. That is going to be the secure from Umpty. That could have been a dead Zeus there.
Very much so, and now he's getting collapsed on.
Yeah, flash does come through. Morgan not going to risk it up against Owner as Gumayusi is real quick. Umpty was terrified. He was so confused about what just happened there that he didn't press his R button.
He just wouldn't expect a Jinx to come running past him, so he just didn't know what to do with it.
And, okay, Glacial Prison comes down, and Poby is going to collect first blood. He just paid a visit to the top lane, and Owner had never left. Still, I think Bro can certainly teamfight very effectively with a composition like this. I think eyes are going to be drawn to Umpty. Where is that Impale going to go? Yeah. And Karis, can he land that big Emperor's Divide? And there are a couple of ways to make it work as well. Like, you can rely on Umpty to get in there, find that ultimate, and then Emperor's Divide the person even further away, take them out of the fight, and then win from there. But I think it depends which target you're actually trying to lock down. Poby, very slippery. Zeus as well, going to be very slippery as Poby gets on top of Effort here. Does take half of his health bar. Umpty in the vicinity. Does need to be a little bit careful, but I think he's playing on the edge pretty nicely at this point in time. Should just be a smite fight as now the hook comes forward. There's the Glacial Prison onto Effort, but not exactly the priority target. As Effort, he's got the Severum back, the Graviton doing a little bit of work, but it's not a lot of damage. Effort has to get out of there, and T1's health bars are still massive. Bro have just been pushed out here as Effort does get back. Emperor's Divide is good defensively as Henna going to be okay for now. Now the red-white guns do come in, and now he is scary. Gumayusi, not exactly full health, but still has a fair bit to work with. Carrier running out of mana at this point in time, but he should still have a hook or two in him. Still, they are going to back away, and that is first Cloud going over to Bro. The War of Attrition won. Teleport to come through from Morgan. He'll get here first, but T1 not wanting to give this one up. This is soul point for Bro. It's going down so quickly, though, and Owner not going to be able to get into the pit. That is just secured. Now the prison comes through, though. Effort just battle dances his way out, though, and it's just fine. Morgan finds an Everfrost, and there is the Impale. The Piggy should go down, but no, the Lantern is going to keep him alive. Emperor's Divide used once again onto Zeus, but now it's Henna's turn to do the damage. Morgan gets the flash out from Poby, and they're just not dying. It's a double kill for Zeus now as Karis. He's on the wrong side of the fight, and Bro have to give it up. Triple kill for the Jax.
Huge team fight for T1, and honestly, Bro managed everything so well until it came to the fight itself, where they just got absolutely gapped by T1. I think what's frustrating is the fact that before, like, Morgan had chunked Zeus, which led to them rushing the dragon. The setup was so good, and yet they opted in that fight.
All right, there's an aggressive Emperor's Divide onto Poby. Finds the Gragas ulti as well. The quickness comes down, and they lock down Poby. They probably could have used some of those mechanics in the last team fight, but, you know, you'll take it when you can get it.
One Cloud Drake, unthinkable. We cannot give it up. We must fight this.
Well, it also does bring T1 over here for a team fight. Maybe that's what Bro are looking for. As Karis taking a lot of damage Glacial Prison does come down. Umpty says he doesn't really care about it, but Morgan, he needs to be a little bit worried. Karis looking for Poby off on the back end as Morgan goes gold and Emperor's Divide once again used onto the Jax, who this time is going to be taken down. It's now Ona's turn. He gets body slammed. The flash out from Umpty, a double kill now as Henna's gone crazily far forward, but he is going to survive. Does use the flash this time in order to escape. T1 still on the offensive though, as it's Bro now with the lower health bars. This is Cloud Soul though, remember this is close to all of the marbles, the most important soul in the history of League of Legends. And Bro, they understood that. They're not going to sit back and allow one Cloud Drake to go over to T1. No! We are team fighting and we are winning.
And they are now
Cloud Soul
so fast around the map.
Oh yeah.
You know, things like effort on the Rakar, I'm going to appreciate this quite a bit.
Yeah, and Umpty is going to be zooming as well on this Skarner. As my goodness, this Baron does not last very long whatsoever. Morgan looking for Ona. Hook is going to connect there, but Effort not going to get locked down. The prison does come through, and Effort grand exits to try and get himself out. Zayas gets into the backline, but it's not quite enough. The cask is gorgeous from Morgan. And T1, they lose their Jax yet again. Bro take the Baron. They've got the soul. It is working pretty well right now as finally this outer turret is going to fall. Bro just needed a Baron in order to get there. This gold lead is just evaporating. Hook is going to connect onto Henna. The Flame Trumper's not quite close enough though, as you can see. Oh my goodness, Effort just explodes to the Super Mega Death Rocket.
Yes.
And now Zayas gets into the backline, but it's Morgan that stops the onslaught. Karis is going to get here. The hook goes just wide. Morgan buys some time and some space, but that advantage that Bro had has just been destroyed. He's running pretty fast. They see the ward go down. And now Bro are just wasting no time. They are not messing around. They just want to kill dragons. That is what they want to do. And they also want to kill Poby, who takes so much damage here. These flanks are getting more and more difficult for the LeBlanc, who has so much damage, but there's the Impale. They take him so far back. Ona eventually goes golden, but there is the cast. That is going to deliver the kill over to Henna as they find Zayas, but he finds the backline. Empress Divide doesn't land onto the Jax this time, but Henna is still alive. Effort maybe not so lucky as Karis dives on top of Poby. He's going for the full turnaround. Poby, no! Oh dear, Moonlight Vigil is going to come through as well, and now T1, they only have 3 members still alive, and not one of them is a jungler. The Flame Chompers come through, but Umpty's not going to land on top of them. Gumyushi's still full health, but can he actually do anything? Henna tries to take matters into his own hands.
That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, he just does not have the health bar to get themselves in here. Bro are going to be able to take themselves the Elder. The Baron is up as well. Exodia is on the table. And in game number 1, at close to 40 minutes. Just have to see as Poby still trying to find that poke damage. And he needs to keep doing this, right? He is LeBlanc. That's the identity of the champion. But Bro, they are just playing this one by the numbers. Second inhibitor is going to fall.
12 seconds.
And these Qs that connect, man, Ona is a tank. But you wouldn't really know. That was through Frost Armor as well as Umpty gets hooked.
4 seconds.
Not feeling like a death sentence, but like you were saying, it's now time that T1 could go for it. And immediately Ona throws out the Glacial Prison Effort. The quick Jax comes down. The Jax gets into the back line, but he's just charmed up and destroyed. Nexus turret's now the only thing standing between Bro and a game 1 victory. And Henna says goodbye to your health bars as the Moonlight Vigil comes down. Morgan's flashing in, and they wipe the floor with the Jinx. This is going to be it. Bro will take game number 1 against T1, and they came back from an 8,000 gold deficit.
And you know why?
Like, it goes back to what we were saying before, where each team fight looked like they took one bit of feedback from the previous team fight and said, oh, let's do this better. Let's do this a little bit better. T1 going to just take the lane duo. Instead, Kaiserrel has been pretty strong in the past. And now the consideration. Zayas has just like straight up won the 1v1 even early as Ornn versus Renekton. He's just very, very good at this champion. So you can understand why he's considering it and will lock that one in.
Honest carry. And the LeBlanc will fall off.
And the problem is as well, is that T1 are probably incentivized to head towards some physical damage on the Kai'Sa, and that means you don't have a dual threat poke. You've just got LeBlanc again. On the Jace this time around, it's Morgan's Renekton as well. Anything could happen as we jump into the Rift for game number 2. And on Ash, very sad. Carrying Gumyushi going to give a little bit of Alicia to their Vi, and only going to be pretty happy. The pass is pretty good on the Kai'Sa for helping out with that one. When they can sort things out, this mid lane situation, they can get themselves back on track. For now, it's looking difficult, but Bro, I mean, this is the thing, right? We're talking about, you know, game 1 and Bro 1 and things like that. They were still down 8,000 gold, and they just took game 1 from both D+ and Homolife Esports back to back. Yep. Game 1 is their territory. Best of 1s, Bro would be first place in the LCK. But it's best of 3s. You have to keep it up for the entirety of the series. Jace's performance is going to be better as Morgan brings a large amount of minions towards Zeus' turret. Knockup not going to connect there as the Lord just being patient.
Yep.
Sidestepping that one.
Gets a demolish proc. Is really bad.
It is really bad. And just a daily reminder to you to keep concentrating. I'm really impressed by what you put forward so far today. But you got to stay vigilant. You got to keep it up. Whenever there is a Chemtech Soul anywhere, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's Orcs' fault. As Bramble Smash going to come through. Cease and Desist comes down there. Umpty pretty tanky right now, and he has Phase Rush, so he's just going to book it.
He did rush with a lot of phases.
Yeah, Nimbus Cloak as well, and so he's just running real fast after that flash. Carrier going to crash down and then crash out, which I think is half the battle.
Yeah.
Especially in top lane.
Maybe even more in top lane, honestly.
True. As T1 are going to look for Karis. I think Karis might be dead, guys. This dive is going to be successful. First Blood goes over to Poby. And now 2 plates alongside the kill onto Karis. Really nicely done here from T1. Just goes over and steals his stuff. Christmas tree moving down here towards his bottom side, and the Nature's Grasp is going to be precast immediately. Into the backline goes Gumayushi. That stopwatch, just amazing from Henna, but it's not quite going to be enough. Now Karis is going to move on in, and can he actually lock down the rest of these kills as they do get Gumayushi? Poby's limping away, and I don't think Carrier is making it out of this one alive. It's 2 kills for the Crocodile, and Bro strikes back. Crazy to deny a few of these autos, but it looks like it is the turret that's going to be taken. As now Morgan getting closed in on. There is the Brittle. It is going to be put down, and they don't even need to use half of the buttons. Core Drinker does do a fair bit of work there, but punched to the back of the head. And now you can see that Bro are trying to return the favor here on the top side, but still they lose the outer turret, they lose their Crocodile, and T1 finds some big advantages here. Love that. And Bro gonna move in, and they're like, it's our turn for a dragon.
Yep.
If we're going to be nice.
You know, they gave a lot to T1 earlier.
Well, in they go. They do manage to find the Aphelios, and he just explodes. Massive value out of the Ram, as well as Bro are just getting decimated. It's a double kill for Poby. I think that's 5 on this LeBlanc right now. A massive turnaround. Zeus is going to teleport up to make sure that Umpty is going to be taken down. He's knocked up into the sky, and that is just going to be the ace. And T1, they may just win the game.
Oh, they've got to go for it.
They have to. They're going to, right?
Well, they don't actually have to.
1 and 0. It's also the first on version of the Night Harvester as well.
I'm
excited about, but yeah, it's just going to be 1 measly Nexus turret standing between T1.
You know, in terms of what is available, Poby's doing a lot of damage. You can see Effort just got...
Oh, here it is. The Magnus Storm does come through. Still, Henna manages to get himself relatively far away. Doesn't exactly have the greatest guns and throws the Moonlight Vigil to Narnia. That is not what you want to see. Decent knock up there from Effort, but in goes Gumayushi now. Henna has to flash his way out. Bro still have some members alive. And it's T1 moving towards the base. Yeah, teleport is going to come through. Now T1 decide that maybe they're not going to be able to take this one down. It's a little bit confusing, this whole situation, but they'll take the inhibitor turret in the mid lane, and now they can back off. But man, T1 really not biting off more than they can chew. Playing this one as by the numbers as they can. As Carrier, he might now try and find his opportunity. The Void Seeker not going to find too much.
You know, Bro did a good job of dodging these Void Seekers. Unfortunately, their base is unable to dodge.
Yeah, that is the problem. As Cease and Desist does come down, the Ram going to follow through as well as Ona goes golden. There's the Magnus Storm. Absolutely beautiful. And the Vi goes down, but I don't think that is going to matter at all in this game. Killer Instinct from Gumayushi as well as he takes down the cow. And Karis relegated to his fountain. And Bro once again going the distance in this series. We are going to have a game number 3, but this time, man, especially Poby, finding some redemption here.
But in this game, obviously, wasn't so useless, had a pretty big impact. a ton of damage done in the lane, and then just consistently a threat throughout. And you know, there was some hiccups at some point, but once they started to mount up that lead, it was just all T1 all the way. Not the sharpest, and we're seeing Zeus toy with an idea of what he wants to play in the top lane. Gangplank
makes it very, very difficult here for Bro to deal with it. See what happens. We hop into the Rift here for Game 3. The third game of the series, and yeah, like you say, big cheers coming on in here, as that's a heroic charge. That could be a dead pirate, as he's going to have to flash already, but there is a big old hammer, and that is First Blood going to his direct opponent.
You know what? I obviously had my criticisms of the Bro comp into what T1 have. Stuff like this is really how you shake that up, finding a good early kill. And what is actually fantastic here is the flashes.
His performance on the Poppy. And it also can really warp how a setup composition like this wants to go, right? Because if you're waiting for a go button, we'll just have to see. Is Poby moving to the wrong side? There's a heroic charge, finds the devastating blow as well. Flash comes out, no buckler available. So Umpty's not going to be able to plonk that one into his noggin and will be able to get the flash.
You should be careful about where you're aiming your shock blast. Because
True.
Umpty was not happy about potentially, I don't know if it hit him, but it was close enough that it could have. And I think that's really the problem here.
Owner is looking to come up towards the super powerful Cassante. Morgan dashing forward at perhaps the wrong time. Cannon Barrage coming down here. Let's see what Morgan's going to be able to do as the all-out does come through, but it's not exactly the greatest of ones. Still has to flash, but that might be enough to get himself out, and it is going to be so. Umpty going to take this opportunity to head towards the first Infernal.
A much more intimidating sort of Poppy than the current I'm pretty tanky with slamming into the walls.
Owner going to get knocked up there right on the edge, and there is the heroic entrance as well. Quickness comes down, and that is just 100-0. No tree to be had, and Owner didn't even have an opportunity to use his ultimate.
I'm ready, and then it hits the minion, you're like, oh, I see.
Okay, Cannon Barrage going to come through here as Morgan. He's going to go all out, and Zeus, yeah, not a lot of distance for him to go. Morgan's just going to slice him up.
They get the stun against the wall, and then it's just done here and here as well. Really well played by Morgan. Gets up on top of the GP, makes sure he lands the Q by trapping him against the wall. Not much space to dodge, and then at this point, he's just dead.
And denies the barrel as well at the beginning of that fight. And the beginning of it is where things can get dangerous, right? You get the resets as well, as we've got Poby taking a fair bit of damage. Does find a long range.
That is a tanky Poppy.
Yeah, that is. And I don't know whether Carrier being over here that could have been a detriment, because that would have been a gap close.
Push in heavily like this and start to establish some control.
Umpty is so far ahead. And the Brambleback is...
That's
gonna
why
get
they
caught.
picked
There
the
it is.
Blitzcrank. That is the moment we're waiting for.
Guaranteed.
Red buff secured.
Look at that. Okay, so the value going to come through. Gumayushi going to be able to take himself a red. And you can see Umpty just hanging out. He's just taking things away, stealing stuff. It's a heist. It's not even really. It's almost like it's his. And Morgan's going to be found by Zeus.
He has to get there quick.
Yeah, how are you supposed to get over here? Nature's Grasp comes down, but they just get rid of him.
Oh, beautiful.
The Maokai's out of there, and the Poppy secures the Baron. About as good as it gets here for Bro. They take down the Cassante. T1 get their first kill, but they have to trade it. 4 Barons still left on the map for Bro. Is the approaching lead here for Bro. But their Baron has worn off, and they didn't get a whole lot. As, all right, there's the ulti. It's going to be charged by Umpty, but he decides he just wants to charge it.
This is one of the broken things about Poppy. When she first came in the meta, it's because they actually changed her ult. So when you spin it up and then cancel it, it used to be a 30-second cooldown. It's now 15. It's like, you can just do that whenever you want. And look, it's back up in like 2 seconds.
In fact, not using it is probably more valuable.
Yeah.
You hold it for zoning, and then if they don't respect it, then you use it and you get all the value. And then if they do, then you just get yourself the objective.
Just do on repeat.
Very nicely done.
Yeah.
That is kind of how it goes. And into the backline goes Effort, or he attempts to. There it is, the flash forward, the grand entrance, the quickness onto everyone. But it is a great mitigating ult from Owner. Gumayushi gets towards the backline. Henner is just ripped to shreds, but they trade it for the 80 carry on the other side. And there is still one left on Bro, and his name is Karis. The bird will swoop in, grabs himself a couple of kills, and that should spell the Baron for Bro. And now they're going to be completely split. Umpty just walks up to Owner. Gumayushi, oh no, he's caught off the back end of this fight. Divide taking so much damage. Karis is just chasing after him. In the meantime, though, you've got Morgan trying to face off against the rest of T1, and he's surviving because he has a stopwatch, of course. Into the back line goes there, but the Emperor's Divide, just extraordinary from Karis. And I think he might be picking up another one of these POGs as Umpty. He clears up the Blitzcrank. That is going to be the ace. And Bro have done it, ladies and gentlemen. They've taken down T1. And this is so important. Bro could be our 6th place team heading to playoffs.
This is honestly such a massive win. The rest of their schedule is very reasonable for them to be able to take, for them being able to drive forwards their wins and standings and make it to playoffs. A massive victory against T1 and a very decisive game 3
right now, and they have a game score of -13.
Yeah.
So looking at some of this damage, yeah, it was not the greatest game for Poby, but the goal graph so clean,
Beautiful, you know.
and starting off with that little blip.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the POG interview translation, and we are here joined by the solo POG on the side of OK Savings Bank, Brian Karis. Congratulations on the win. You guys are able to end your losing streak up against T1. How do you feel? I have never defeated T1 since last year, and then I'm so happy that I managed to overcome this, and I'm so happy that we are able to just win T1 as a team altogether. Well, winning game 3 was not what Bro was good at recently, but today you guys picked yourself up to after a game 2 loss. So what did you focus on after losing that game, and what was the focal point? I think usually the issue was, late game team fight. One team fight and we lose the game and series. So we wanted to work on that and have a cleaner performance in the skirmishes and late game team fight, and I hope we can keep this up and showcase even better performance in the later game in the upcoming series. And in game number 1, Karis, your Azir success man-marked Jax. So let's take a look at this replay, where you are like the perfect security guard of Bro. Was keeping enemy Jax zoned away the main focus in the team fight? So I was on Azir and Hannah was playing Ophelia, so we were able to outrange the opponent. So I was not looking for a super delivery as an Azir. I just wanted to keep poking them down and then, setting up for team fights. Well, game number 1, Bro was consistently in a goal deficit. Even after that Baron and Elder, you guys were still very behind in gold, but still, Bro managed to win team fights and turn the game around eventually. Were you guys still confident to win the game, even though you guys were very behind in gold? So we don't have the exact information about the global gold, so we were not aware of that. We were not sure whether we were super behind or we were on a similar level, but we were pretty confident about our comp and team fighting, level. So we were happy to take fights. Then did you know how much gold you guys were behind? I don't know, like 4 or 5K? It was actually 8,400 gold. How do you feel about that? Well, there was not a single moment where we were like, we might lose this team fight. We were pretty confident in that game all throughout the game because T1 was more about side lanes and we were all about the team fight. So we were like, maybe we are behind in 4,000 gold or 5,000 gold, but I was not expecting 8,400. This summer season, Azir LeBlanc matchup, BDD is the only player that won that matchup on the Azir side, but Karis, now you are joining BDD. I think it kind of requires a lot of understanding of the champion matchup, right? I mean, obviously, I played with BDD in Gen G, so I learned a lot from him. And I always, watch his VODs. And the way BDD plays into LeBlanc, I was like, yeah, Azir works into LeBlanc, so I practiced a lot. I cannot really say I'm on BDD Azir level, but I think I did pull off a pretty good performance. And then game 3, We have record-breaking, the fastest first blood of the summer season. You guys were able to take down GP at around 39 seconds into the game. Who made the call for the early invade? T obviously the big brain on the side of OK Bro. He always looks for some creative level 1 play. So we wanted to go for play over the wall. T was the vocal. T was really vocal about that play. And then Bro was able to snowball off of it really effectively. So let's take a look at this replay where Bro was able to solidify the win. So K'Sante was, by himself, and then you guys are able to back him up really fast. We were not having a lot of communication over there. We were just like, we see Kaisa coming over, so let's target Kaisa first. And then Morgan was like, okay, I'm just gonna, try to survive. He was able to even, break his stopwatch. So I think it was not about, our setup. It was about all 5 members were doing their best in the given situation. And next week, you guys are playing up against the East teams, Leaf, Sandbox, and Dongsim Ras Force. It's gonna be a very decisive week for Bro's playoff miracle run. I mean, we are happy and glad that we just took down T1, but I just want to, keep it going. We're going to focus until the end of the regular season and make sure to win in all of the 2 remaining matches. And Bro also has some special guests out there, and also so many Bro fans, Bro leavers supporting you here at Low Park and watching online. Any message over to the Bro fans? Yeah, there will be a fan meet and greet after this interview. So I want to go say hi to all my fans, and every time at Low Park when I get to see all the fan signs, I'm just so happy, It gives me so much energy. So I want to say I won the series thanks to the support from my fans. And this will be the end of the interview from Karis, and I'm going to pass it back to the space. Thank you.